Hey, campfire crew, let's get it on.
Creep at the Skate Park by Curly-Haired Dweeb. I'm 34, female, and unmarried, which means I occasionally get the pleasure of watching my niece and nephew while my sister and brother-in-law go on their bi-weekly date nights. This has been going on for the past 2 months. I previously didn't have much contact with her and her family for one reason or another, but in my efforts to become the cool aunt, I've been trying to get to know my niece and nephew a little better. They're 8 and 11, respectively. My nephew has been into skateboarding lately, so I got him a new board for no other reason than that. He pestered me to take him to the skate park to try it out. I told him that was okay, but he had to stay within earshot of me. The reason behind this was because when I was growing up, that area was really scummy. It's improved astronomically over the past decade, but what can I say? I have trust issues. I watched him like a hawk while he rode his new skateboard. My niece was sitting next to me playing with a naked-ass Barbie that I bought her. Clothed, but at least she wasn't playing with an iPad. I was timing my nephew. I didn't really want to stay more than an hour, but when I saw that he was having fun, I periodically extended the time. As the sun was about to go down, I went ahead and called him back over. My niece decided it was time to go to the bathroom. I, of course, not knowing how to be an adult around children, told her to wait until we got through 45 minutes of traffic, hit the freeway, and then drove 8 more miles to my house. I know, my dumb ass did the math and decided it was wrong, so I took her to the public bathroom right near the parking lot. My nephew went into the men's room while I went ahead and took my niece into the ladies' room. The bathroom by itself is enough of a creepy encounter. Gang graffiti, satanic symbols, whole rolls of toilet paper casually sitting in the toilet, and cracked mirrors. Spoiler, she didn't have to go after seeing the bathroom. I still made her wash her hands as if she were rolling around in toxic waste. As she and I exited the bathroom, I saw my nephew shooting the shit with an older man. Yes, man. He had moved significantly away from the bathroom, and I had to do a light jog while dragging an 8-year-old by the hand. As I was trotting with my 8-year-old luggage, I could clearly hear the man say, "Yeah, I remember your dad. We went to school together. Why don't you give me your number so we can all catch up?" Bro! First of all, I was a year ahead of my brother-in-law in school. I don't remember some creepy late 40s guy in either of our grades. Second, just what? I couldn't have heard that right. I got between them and told him to get away from my nephew. I also told my nephew that it was time for us to go and to get into my car. The guy said he was just talking to him. I impolitely told him that if he went near either of them again, his genitalia would be rolling around my purse near my lipstick. I know that sounds harsh, but I don't care. I actually think I underreacted. This man, I swear, actually had the audacity to ask me if I had a teen pregnancy for having kids that age. Then he also told me that I looked too pretty to have 2 kids. He then asked me my name and how old I was. I was like, okay, you struck out with my nephew, so now you want to take a run at me? I got in the car and stayed put with the engine on to see if I could see what vehicle he was in to grab the license plate. After a few minutes, I just drove off because I wanted the 2 kids to be away from the whole thing. I didn't want to frighten them. Through 4 years in the military and 6 years as a sheriff's deputy, I've learned that almost nobody can truly be trusted. The trauma that I've faced in my own lifetime was enough to make me resilient. Hell, I still carry decoy money in my wallet and keep the rest in my bra. I still carry a pistol, and there's almost always a knife on my belt. I told my sister and brother-in-law about the guy, and they filed a police report. In my own opinion, the report didn't seem very thorough. They also said they would have a talk with Mr. Nephew, which I offered to be there for, but apparently my views can't be articulated correctly for a child, which I guess I understand. Anyway, crisis avoided. I just hope this guy is looked into and something is done. At least an investigation. At this point, I can only hold out hope. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your time. Sleep well, everyone. My friend introduced me to a person with scary intentions by Cold Glass Donkey. This is a real story that's happening now, but this all really started on my birthday. I did speak with the authorities about these instances, but I'm open to hearing your takes as well. It's been pretty frightening. Quick backstory. I'm a female and 27. I live with a female roommate, Julia, and her boyfriend. About a year ago, Julia and I started going to hangout spots and met a woman working there around our age, Sam. Julia and I stopped going after a while, but I stayed friends with Sam. Not super close, but seeing her once every couple of weeks. She supported my business, bought me small gifts, and invited me places over the course of the year. I enjoyed being friends with her. On my birthday, Sam and other friends posted my photo on social media. That's when I got a message from an account I didn't know, asking me to message them back and discuss a film opportunity. Half curious, I responded. They said a bunch and finally came out and said they were casting adult film stars. They quoted me a large amount of money. He said it was very private, porn sold overseas, so no one will ever see it. I declined politely. Honestly, I chuckled. By the way, they're not Googleable. There's nothing on their social page or anything about their production company online. This person messaging me insisted I text their female reference. Curiosity got the best of me because I did that, and the female reference weirded me out. She was normal at first, but seemed too excited about the actual job. She was encouraging me to do my casting with the person I've messaged, and was saying I was very lucky he'd even offered. He's only offered that to a few girls. I'm thinking, no woman in porn really feels this excited, happy, or satisfied with it all. I was weirded out, and she was blocked. He messaged me to ask if we had talked, and I said yes, but declined again, and he was now blocked. I'm embarrassed I even considered it. But then, a couple days later, my roommate showed me a weird text to her personal number. It's the same people. Similar offer. They said, though, "We found you on a list you must have signed up." I'm sure my roommate did no such thing. I'll say here, not many people know both me and my roommate. I told my roommate what happened to me, and we were both confused. For the next 4 months or so, I got text messages, all different kinds, all eventually saying, yes, this is not Googleable adult film company here, and we're so sorry about the mix-up. I answered some nice, and I answered some mean. I ignored others completely. They never asked for photos or info, anything except really to consider the offer, and maybe come for a drink to discuss it in person. That was it. Until yesterday. Sam sent me a message on social media. It was a chat group with a profile I've never seen, plus Sam, plus my business profile. I do creative team building work. Sam wanted to introduce me to her friend Dave. Dave needed to hire a team builder at a fancy hotel about an hour away from me. Sam made the introductions, and I said thank you. And then Sam left the group chat. Dave's profile was empty. She messaged me privately and said basically, I used to casually see this guy. He's good for the job. He's pretty wealthy, and I know he owns multiple businesses. He used to be in adult film productions, but I think he's been done with that, and this would be for a different business he has. Other than that, he's a normal dude. I messaged the man back and asked, what's the company, and could I have the website or some pages? Any more info? He said, well, we'll launch the website at the event I'm being hired for, and that he just bought the company as being branded. But Sam was messaging me too. She said he was selling the company, and this 2-day hotel event is their farewell party. She suggested I bring my boyfriend since it would be an all-expenses-paid stay. Also, she mentioned that she was going to visit this old friend tonight to catch up over drinks. She said she hadn't seen him in a long time. All right, this is weird as heck. The guy is messaging me along the lines of, sorry, I know this is weird. Feel free to bring your boyfriend. What? And he also mentioned how he was seeing my friend that night. I left him on read until the morning. I sent him the original weird adult film account and say, this you? He said, nope. And I said, yeah, okay. They responded thumbs up and left the chat. I had mentioned to Sam months ago about the weird offer and text messages I got. She too said she got bizarre messages in the past. They only stopped when she said she would call the police, and she didn't offer more detail, but was driving, so I didn't push it. So now I message Sam, and I say straight up, "Sam, I think this is the person that has been harassing me from different numbers." She acted weirded out and surprised, and asked about the original account that messaged me. Eventually, she closed the convo and went to bed. I left her on read. I didn't answer her call the next day, and she texted me, "That was weird last night. Call me if you want to chat because I'm confused." I didn't respond. Today she texted me, "Okay." And I wrote her back. Basically saying, "You know I've been weirded out about this, and I've been wondering if someone is trying to abduct me. And now you're wondering if you're involved either innocently or not. It's too much for me." She wrote me back saying more or less she understood that it was a scary, weird experience, but she thought I was way overreacting, and basically she seemed offended that I could even think of such a thing. She also said she wouldn't want to ever speak with someone again who could think that about her. She left it with that she lives her life on the straight path and can't let somebody try and drag her into something like that. I don't know if you guys know this, but you can use a free website online to insert photos of someone, and it will generate pages on the internet that match based on their facial recognition. When I began having this fear of her involvement, I searched her and found what I am 99.9% was thumbnails of her in an adult film. It's either her or her splitting image. Also, it pulled known photos of her. I didn't say this to her, of course. I know. She knows, but that last statement she gave me is extra weird knowing all that. So that's my story. Hopefully they don't get me. I am not the one to be played with. Someone Watching Me Part 2 by Brilliant Bex 1992. There hasn't been any activity since the night after I originally posted. I was on a phone call the very next night with a friend when I noticed someone standing outside, completely shrouded in darkness. I proceeded to talk loudly about how some creep was watching me and they'd better watch out. Stupid, yes, but it seemed to work because all was quiet after that. Or so I thought. Tonight was one of my oldest friends' last night in town, so I was out till about 9:30. I drove 2 friends home and then myself. Since it was so early, I wasn't that worried, but still alert. I drove up the side of the street that he hid on last time, even though it was out of my way, and I saw nothing out of the ordinary. I noticed one of the new houses that was being built had its lights on, which I didn't think much of in the moment. Fast forward an hour, and I started hearing a weird, loud banging sound across the way. I know it's risky, but I'm not letting some asshole dictate my comfort, and I've also been watching for activity, pretending so I can maybe catch them. So I've kept my window open as usual, hence why it was dumb to razz him the other night by talking about someone watching me. But I digress. The sound stopped, so I wrote it off. Big mistake. Shortly after, I started hearing banging again, but this time I could actually feel it. It was coming from my house. I genuinely freaked out, like Knives Out status, but much more cowardly, cowering on my bedroom floor with my ear pressed to the door and knife in hand. The sound was a strange hollow sound that didn't seem like the front door. It wasn't. I once again called 911, described what happened, and thinking that they were probably going to write it off because I sounded crazy. I still feel kind of in shock because this only just happened. Thankfully, the kind dude on the line definitely took me seriously and said someone would be on their way. For the record, the police department is like a 3-minute drive from my house. I ended up tiptoeing downstairs to see, and once again felt my heart stop. I went to the front window, ducked down, and there wasn't anyone at the front door. Then the banging started again, and I could tell how close it was. I went to the side window that overlooked the garage, and that's when I saw him, dressed in black, hood pulled far over his face, banging wildly on the garage door with a fucking crowbar. I honestly don't know why he wasn't using the crowbar to break in, but I'm super glad as he didn't, as the door inside the garage leads into the house, and it's always left unlocked. To say I panicked is a vast understatement. I nearly pissed myself, which is, I think, understandable. I was just standing there, peeking out of the window, watching this guy wail on my garage door with a crowbar, thinking how fucking unhinged he must be, and how much I wanted the cops to get there now. But, just like before, He ran off. I quite literally just got done giving a report to the cops that showed up. My family was woken up and had to talk to them as well, as they're the homeowners. So now they're both freaked out, and my dad just ordered 4 exterior cameras to monitor the house. I don't think this is over yet. This man has some reason that he's targeting my house, possibly me, since he started out by watching me outside my window. So, to this man, you better hope we never meet. I've got a crowbar, too. Hey gang, thanks for listening to this episode of Uncle Josh's True Scary Stories. If you have a true scary story of any nature that you'd like to hear narrated on my channel, send it to unclejoshtruescarystories@gmail.com. I read them all. Please like, share, and subscribe to this video. Hit the notification bell for every time that I upload. And of course, if you'd like to up the ante with your support of the channel, find my link to Patreon in the description below, as well as a link to my TeePublic page. Get yourself some Uncle Josh and Campfire Crew merch. Hoping to continue to post as much as I have been, but I am not going to lie, I am working on a side project that does involve the Campfire Crew. Actually, a printed anthology of your listener-submitted stories, and I will be narrating that into book form that will be available on Audible. But that's all down the road. I'll keep you posted on that one. If you're interested, I'll have more information as that becomes available. Everyone, be excellent to each other. And until next time, be wary of things that go bump in the night. It could be anything. A ghost, a monster, or the guy next door.